What are your thoughts on Trump saying, and I'm not sure if he said this, or there's a narrative out there that Trump is taking money from the rich and giving it back to the middle class, in the sense that really only the top 10% of people own the vast majority of stocks. And for the average person in the United States, stock market crash makes no difference in their daily life. All they care about is, are eggs cheaper? Is gas cheaper? What is my car insurance like? Day-to-day expenses. So for Trump crashing the market, for most people in the US, it makes no difference.
Well, so that statement's misleading, because if the bottom 50% own only a small fraction of the equity market, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not also invested in the equity market. It's just they could be fully invested. Not saying that they are, but they could be fully invested in equities, but that still represent a small piece of the overall equity pie. But regardless, equity markets, love them or hate them, they are intertwined throughout our economy, and there's no getting around that. So when equity markets get hit, it has numerous impacts across the economy. Whether you happen to own stocks or not, your boss probably does, right? The person hiring you probably does. The company you work for is impacted by their ability to raise funds, right? To issue equity. So it really doesn't matter if you personally own equities or not, although probably most people are more directly tied to equity markets than they think, even through their pensions and various things, right? It will absolutely crush the economy and everyone in it if the market starts to fall apart and remains weak for a long period of time. Like I think that's undebatable, guys. Also, this whole thing with tariffs, and it's just so frustrating to me, because like the blanket tariffs on these countries and the trade imbalance, and saying that we want other countries to trade with us as much as we want to, just makes no sense on any level. Like, Graham, like, you're big into coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've heard kind of this coffee comparison going around. Like, we want to charge tariffs on Brazil and Colombia, places that we get our coffee from, in hopes that we're going to buy more American. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, American coffee comes almost exclusively from Hawaii, right? And by the pound, I would say it's like at the cheapest, $20 a pound. Is that right?
It's expensive.
Okay, it's super expensive. Yeah. So American coffee starting at $20 a pound. Most regular coffee from these countries is like $5, $6, $7 a pound, $4 a pound. So yeah, like if we pay, us paying more for that coffee is not going to make us migrate to $20 a pound coffee, right? That's just obvious. So this, at the end of the day, this tariff is simply an increase of cost to most people.
Well, given that, because you're right, a lot of the coffee is naturally grows the best around the equator. What about the theory that Trump is purposely trying to crash the stock market to refinance the national debt, and this is all part of a master plan?
I think that might be giving too much credit to a master plan. I've read that too. It would be genius if that were the case, but I don't buy into that.
All you have to do is kind of look into the long history of Trump's, the narrative of what he's been pushing around why he wants tariffs. And that's never been the narrative, right? Now, you can say all of a sudden now that narrative is no longer working. You can pick a new one, which is what happened the last few days with that video that went viral that he retweeted or that he put on Truth Social.
Was that the Warren Buffett one?
Yeah, which Warren Buffett did not say what he said in the video, right?
So for those unfamiliar, there was a video that was retweeted so many times where Warren Buffett was commenting on Trump's actions and calling him like the most brilliant move he has ever seen, and how this is a great move for the economy. Trump retweeted that. A lot of people took that as fact. And then Warren Buffett came out in a note, said, "I've never said this. This is not me."
Yeah.
Interesting how some of these things just get started.
And by the way, like that narrative of he's doing all of this just to knock down interest rates for the refinancing, in context, that wouldn't make sense to do this for months on end to American financial markets. Like, we will save hundreds of billions from that, if we can knock it down a point. But when you look at the destruction that would have to happen to our economy over the course of the next 60 to 90 days. I think some of those interest rates are getting reset in May. Like, it doesn't balance out. Like, we'd be losing more than we would be gaining.
But
although we did see Trump tweet directly to, or I guess it was he truthed. Yeah. Can we call it truthing?
He put it on Truth Social. Then
he
the
said,
administration
Jerome,
came out and
lower
said,
the rates.
He does this. Well, of course, he wants the rates lowered. Of course, but the two things are independent from each other. And will this have the effect of lowering rates? Potentially, yes. Can you say it's worthwhile at this point if we're going to have companies close down as a result of this?
What's interesting is that putting a 90-day postponement on the tariffs, and we saw the market basically recover.
Shows just how much the market wants to be back into the market and wants to go to the moon again.
True, but it shows me also in support of that theory that he could keep it alive temporarily long enough to refinance some of the debt, save hundreds of billions of dollars, and then all of a sudden pull out the rug and the stocks recover.
There are so many things that are getting impacted by this market. For example, look at the lack of capital gains that are going to be paid. How many people are selling right now at losses? And that's going to impact our ability to collect taxes, right, this year. And how much in taxes? Could it be it could be hundreds of billions of taxes that we're losing out on right now by people selling at a loss, right? So like there are just so many things. Look at what companies are doing as a result of this, right? Look at the lack of growth, the lack of hiring, everyone being in a standstill. Do we really want to keep corporate America frozen for the next 90 days? How would that impact the next couple of years, right? Like you can't just look at things in a vacuum. And I don't believe that was the impetus for Trump doing what he did. Like he has months, years talking about these tariffs. That's why he did it. He feels that this is the right economic strategy.